I'm now thrilled to introduce one of the most courageous and principled women I know, the wonderful Jacinta Price, who will soon be Senator Price. Jacinta, congratulations. It's been a hard, long road.
It sure has. And it feels good. It feels good to finally be in, well, almost in this position. It's almost confirmed, and really looking forward to getting in there amongst all the elites that have ensured that Labor got a victory and have made it into government. I will be that cat amongst the pigeons.
And you've copped just some horrendous treatment. You were even called a fascist by the feral left. They defaced your campaign posters, but you've triumphed. It really is, I think, going to be inspirational, particularly for so many women who, don't want to put their hand up because conservative women cop it like no other.
That's exactly right. I have run the gauntlet these last few years, definitely, and I think the one thing that's kept me going throughout all of this is certainly my family, for starters, but also knowing that there's always someone else far worse off than me. There is somebody that's in need of a voice, that's in a really traumatic, horrible situation, and those people need me to be strong and to fight. And also, I think I wanted to prove the point also that if you persist and don't give in to the insidiousness of the left, you can still be there. You can still
Yep.
fight. You can still have impact. That's what this means, that I've been able to be successful like this. And yeah, it's just the beginning, really. It's just the beginning. And I hope to encourage more, not just women, but men as well to do the same.
Now, we saw on Saturday night both Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese pledged to create an Indigenous voice to Parliament. In fact, it was the very first thing they both said before they mentioned jobs, the economy, climate change, any other issue. You're a proud Indigenous woman. Does Australia need an Indigenous voice to Parliament?
Well, not when we're going to have so many voices in Parliament that are Indigenous. Seriously, I just think it's just the greatest act of virtue signalling. I mean, these two see themselves as the big heroes for Indigenous Australia. I mean, seriously, propping up an Indigenous flag in Parliament House behind them, like the first thing that they do is like virtue signal, virtue signal, virtue signal, and really, if Albo had actually, when he came to the territory, had stepped out of Darwin and visited Wadeye, he'd probably understand that the immediate issues that marginalised Indigenous people are facing is trauma that they're experiencing right now in communities like Wadeye, where there's still unrest, where buildings are still being lit alight, where people's lives are being threatened. This is going on right now. He can clap and cheer and carry on as much as he wants, but there's a humanitarian issue going on right in his own backyard, and he's more concerned about a voice to Parliament. That in itself speaks volumes about whether this government are actually going to take proactive, common sense approaches towards problem solving, or just feel good symbolism to make themselves feel good as those who went down in history to attempt to implement a voice to Parliament, which we don't need because we've already got Indigenous voices in Parliament.
Well, it seems Albanese, sadly, is listening to the inner city activists as opposed to, like you suggested, going out to the communities and seeing the challenges they're actually facing today. Not worrying about, like you said, the virtue signalling. We've got a crisis to deal with today. Now, just finally, I know you don't get a vote for who the new Liberal leader's going to be, but you are part of the coalition. Who do you want to see as the next opposition leader?
Look, I think there's some great people who put their names forward, and I think given the geopolitical circumstances that we're confronted with at the moment, I think we need a strong leader, and I would support Dutton if I had a vote in that. That's who I'd likely support. Just given what we're about to go forward with, and that there is still the threat of China on our doorstep, I think he would make a very good leader in that regard.
Absolutely. Jacinta Price, thank you so much for joining me. And next time I introduce you on this program, it will be Senator Price. Thanks for your time tonight.